Hey folks, this is Bfly Bricks, and this is the Batcycle from the 2022 The Batman movie. And in today's video, I'll show you around my mock of this bike, which is a bit tricky to get on film nicely as it's almost entirely black. So hopefully all the details and shaping of the bike are clear in this video. Have I got a perfect likeness to the real thing? I think I'm pretty close. And there are some limitations, of course, working with Lego bricks and not Technic parts. I definitely think had I used curved parts that are more commonplace now with Technic, then it would be possible. The recent Ducati set's cowling shape is only really possible with Technic parts. It's really difficult to get this kind of curvature with regular Lego. Anyways, this is a larger scale than I'm used to. It is built for display and to be accurate, but of course it can still be played with. It whizzes along nice and smooth with those big tyres, which are really cool. There aren't play features as such. There is movement though with the steering, and when the wheels touch the surface it has a lower profile than the way it looks on display. It looks quite sleek, quite like it. I mean, the bike is just used to transport Bruce around Gotham, so we don't see any weapons on it in the movie, but I've decided to put two batarangs on the side of mine. Otherwise, there aren't any like hidden missiles or anything like that. A key feature of the bike's design are the two exhaust pipes that twist out from the side. It's a very distinctive part of the Batcycle. I did it with simple chrome tubes with the more polished parts at the end, which is just like the way it looks in the real bike. Again, it's not totally perfect in terms of accuracy, but I'm quite happy with it. Here's the real thing. You can see the pipes really stick out and the side of the engines really stick out as well. You know, there's so much going on with this design for the Batcycle, and I think it borrows from so many different bikes. It's a weird mashup of bikes from the 50s, 60s and 70s and modern superbikes. I definitely think there's a bit of the Harley Davidson Cobra Speedster in there. There's a passing resemblance to me at first of the modern Moto Guzzi bikes, especially the engine itself. It reminds me a lot of the Moto Guzzi bikes. My dad had one and its engines always seemed to me to stick right out the sides. The windscreen bit around the light has a classic look and the Batcycle is very similar. Underneath the chassis there's a wedge-shaped air intake. I reckon I captured the look with these parts here. An interesting bit at the rear has like rectangular armour to protect the chain. I've used tiles pinned onto the side here and that's extended along the length of the bike. As you can see here for reference. The seat and fuel tank is quite stretched out and there's not much of a mudguard at the rear. I've done it like this and used several curved pieces to get this right. Probably the most difficult bit for me was the area around the headlamp. It has a curved tapered thing going on, which I reckon I've done pretty well, but the area immediately around the lamp itself is more curved and I struggle to get that. It's a little too flat looking for me, but it's tricky as the steering needs to turn, you see. I imagine Lego, if they made this, would actually make it a specific part for this cowling kind of windshield piece. The side section of the engine does have a shiny grille, which is more flat than what I've done, but I like the way this looks. So I initially used parts from this creator bike set 31114, which has a few variations you can build. But really it just served more as inspiration, as I've used only black and the only parts I actually used from this bike set were the wheels and a few bits of Technic frame. In the first half of the movie, it does serve as Bruce's main mode of transport. And there's a fair number of scenes of him driving the bike around Gotham, although we never really see much of the bike up close. It's later on as Batman that we see the full version of the Batcycle with bits of armour and that curved windshield around the lamp. I rewatched the film when making the mock, and actually it's really cool to see this bit again, you know, because they filmed these sequences in Glasgow in Scotland, using predominantly the necropolis, which is a big cemetery. And Glasgow really does serve well as a stand-in for Gotham City. They also shot in Liverpool too, but the necropolis is a cool location. It looks fine in the daylight, but at night it's creepy and has that gothic Gotham City aesthetic that they were going for. Incidentally, they shot the $100 million Batgirl movie in Glasgow, transforming parts of an area called Merchant City into Gotham. It looked amazing, but sadly the film got cancelled by the new bosses at Warner Brothers, so we'll never know what it looked like in the movie. It's a real shame, especially as Batgirl actually has a bike, and it was rumoured that she had a bike in the film as well, so it would have been cool to see that, and I'm sure Lego would have made a version of that as well. Anyways, I love how this thing looks. I thought, you know, Lego did a great job with the Technic Batmobile. It's a bit weird that they didn't bother to do the bike, so I thought it's gotta be done, especially at this scale, as the regular system scale one is way off and it doesn't really work for me. Sure, it is a good toy for kids, but the scale's all weird and the front of the Batcycle is just, nah, it doesn't work. My next Batman video is the animated series Batcycle, so if you want to check out that video next, then click on it in the end screen and I'll catch you in that video. Thanks so much for watching, bye!